Hi. I've done this before. Last year I made a video about my first ever Pokemon Nuzlocke, and the game I played in it was Pokemon Ruby. It was fun, so here I am again, doing another. But this time I attempted to Nuzlocke Pokemon Platinum. I'll explain again super quickly how a Nuzlocke works. You can only catch the first Pokemon you run into per route. If a Pokemon faints, it dies and you can't use it anymore. And you have to nickname your Pokemon so you grow more attached to them. Hoo boy! This was my Pokemon Platinum Nuzlocke. Do you have any Pokemon? No. Do you want some? And like that, I have a Turtwig. I named him Turt and immediately used him to bash in Barry's Chimchar. I was making my way through the routes, but right as I was about to nab the Shinx I found on 202. Don't kill it. Nope! So in the first trainer battle I ever fought, I almost immediately lose my starter to a critical hit. Why do I suddenly have a very bad feeling about this? Just outside the city, Barry runs up and demands another battle, so I happily bash in his Chimchar again, and his Starly too. I kept on my way, eventually arriving in Orberg City, and nervously challenged Rourke. I was terrified of his Cranidos, but Turt landed a crit Razor Leaf and one-shot it before it could even do anything. So that's badge number 1 for us. Somehow, when Dwayne was supposed to die, he hung in there on 1 HP. And you know what? I respected the hell out of him for it. I let Dwayne live and Turt was able to take out the Perugly. And right before Gardenia's gym, Kronk evolved, which meant no mercy for those flower ladies. Badge number 2. We slashed the guard bushes in front of the Galactic building and ran up all the stairs where we fought Galactic Commander Jupiter. We finally were able to beat her, but that fight really knocked the wind out of me. Anyway, even meeting Cynthia wasn't enough to calm my nerves, so to keep my mind off the absolute tragedy we narrowly avoided, I decided to start training up Big Boy on Cycling Road. And then he died. I walked into Wayward Cave and found a Gible. Gible is an amazing Pokemon. It turns into Garchomp, which is easily one of, if not the strongest Pokemon in the game that isn't a legendary. Adding it to the team would give us such a huge advantage, and now there is nothing in my way between that and Kronk and Puppy evolved, we had a clean win against Fantina, and some lady gave us an Eevee I named Milk. Things were starting to look better now.
You're kidding. You're kidding.
And that's why I hate love. I trained it up, and now we got a Gastrodon. Turt ended up evolving too, so together with Kronk and Swoop, Maylene was defeated and badge number 4 was secured. Then I swept Crasher Wake with Milk, who is now a Jolteon, with the TM Thunder I bought literally next door. Cynthia appears again and tells me to bring a charm to her grandma, so I'm like, yes ma'am. We found her in Celestial Town along with Cyrus, the leader of Team Galactic, who starts some evil Shakespeare speech about how everything is imperfect, so he's gotta blow up the world or something. I don't know, I wasn't really paying attention. And then he wanted to fight.
You can't be doing this.
Kronk came out and killed the Golbat because Milk was being difficult, but I gave him a second chance and he took out the Murkrow. I went out and caught a Magnemite named C, then arrived in Canalave City where we barged into Byron's gym and demolished his team with Swoop and Turt. Ha ha ha! You can't climb rocks! Come back when you can climb rocks, loser! I'll go fight Candace's gym now, I guess. Shrimp took out her Sneasel and Swoop took out her Piloswine, almost dying in the process. And then she finally brought out the big bad Abomasnow. Eventually Puppy took it out, but that was absolutely terrifying. Last but not least, Frostlass. I wanted to have Swoop Rain Dance to get rid of the hail so Frostlass's Snow Cloak isn't activated, but since Swoop was sitting at a not-so-chill 20 HP, that wasn't gonna work out super great. However, since I didn't want Kronk to be in this fight at all, right before the fight I swapped her with Failure the Shinx. Yep. Sorry, little guy. Failure looked up at the looming death that was Frostlass in front of her, and as I healed up Swoop, Failure was killed in its blizzard. Swoop came out, got off the Rain Dance, and after a close battle, was able to pull through. We won, but it wasn't without sacrifice.
Psychic. Porygon 2 freaks me out. It is way too powerful, way too bulky, and it's way too weird. I do like Porygon 2 though. I would like a plush of Porygon 2. Very cute. What? 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 No! No! Swoop! We lost Swoop!
I wasn't okay. Turt came out and curb stomped the Porygon 2 out of vengeance, but to put it lightly, I wasn't taking that too well. Fight! Shrimp and Milk took out his team in no time. I snatched his Master Ball and used his teleport pad to enter the basement where Mess Spirit, Azelf, and Yuxi are all being held captive. Fight! And like Cyrus, Saturn was swept too. After releasing the Lake Guardians, we head to Mount Coronet because Cyrus wants to go there and destroy the planet, I think. And we catch up to him at the Spear Pillar. Before we can run up and attack him, Mars and Jupiter step in. Then Barry arrives. Honestly, I have no idea how he found us all here. And is like, I'll help. Lal takes out both their Bronzors, Mars's Prugly, and Barry's Munchlax. So I thought, it was all smooth sailing, right? Not only did I not know their Golbat had Giga Drain for some reason, but it also got a crit. So I was starting to feel bad, but then I started panicking. The thing is, after you fight Mars and Jupiter, you have to go into the Distortion World and fight Cyrus and Giratina. If Cynthia forces us into the Distortion World without us being able to get a new member, we're in massive trouble. Cyrus, get lost and never come back. And Cyrus didn't like that. So he came at me. Oops took out his Houndoom and his Gyarados came out, so I switched to Milk. But I was very terrified because Cyrus's Gyarados has Earthquake. So if Milk misses his Thunder here, he dies. And Milk is notorious for missing his Thunders. But it hit. Milk lives another day. He also took out Cyrus's Crobat and Honchkrow, and Shrimp finished up his Weavile. Oops was just Earthquake and everything, and at the end, I'll admit, I got a bit scared, but it's all good. We're all good. Oh dear. Welcome. This is the Elite Four. The battle starts and C takes out Aaron Zeon Mega and Vespiquen. Oops takes out his Rapion, and Colgate takes out his Scissor and Heracross. Next up is Bertha. Bertha loves ground types, but Turt and Oops had a smooth time smashing through her team. I felt a horrible shiver when her Rhyperior came out, but things went well. On to Flint. Flint has a pretty scary team, but luckily Oops and Flakes had no trouble plowing through them as well. And with that, we're on to the last member, Lucian. Now, Shrimp hasn't had much time to shine in these fights so far, so I decided I wanted to let her go all out. She set up sword stances and bullet punched everything. Proud of you, Shrimp. And suddenly, I'm at the entrance to the champion. The trainer who's been known to crush dreams in a single battle, and many still fear to this day. I took a deep breath. Things are going surprisingly well, and I don't know how to feel about it. But I looked up, and there she was. At this moment, I have only one last objective. Defeat Cynthia. She leads with Spiritomb, which has no weaknesses, so I sent out Turt to hit it as hard as possible. Flakes takes out her Togekiss, and then her Garchomp comes in. I immediately switched to Oops, who's the only Pokemon that can lead us to victory here. But then Oops was crit. I brought out Shrimp to bullet punch it so we could get in a little bit of damage, but she was killed. Colgate tried to chip away at it. He did some damage too, but was crit one shot. At this point, I'd accepted defeat. Only Turt, C, and Flakes were left. It's hopeless at this point. Flakes came out, and against all odds, Flakes outsped Cynthia's Garchomp. Cynthia brings out her Milotic, which C took out with a few Thunderbolts. Flakes took out the Lucario with Dig. Look, my Earthquake TM is on Scoop, and we all know what happened there. Finally, her last Pokemon comes out. Roserade. Flakes went in for the Dragon Claw, and the battle was over. We won. Even if you might think I deserve this dimension, things don't work like that. Are there some things you can't escape, even when you try everything you can do to alter it? I don't know the answer.